obviously Coach Longo was a big reason why you decided to come here, and you kind of explained what you were thinking when you first learned that you'd be moving on without him.
I mean, I just think that we still have a season to worry about, and 2 games that are very important. I think that it's tough. It's tough on his family and him. And you never wish that on anybody. But there's a job to do, and there's a game to play on Saturday, and that's where our focus is right now.
Does it hit a little bit harder just because you guys were so close? He was so close to your family.
Yeah, no, we have a great relationship, but that it's tough, but that relationship will never fade, and I feel strongly about that, and I can take comfort in that, and so.
I know you're focused on the game now, but in the moment, did you have to kind of take a step back and just kind of regroup a little bit, or were you used to just immediately you just kind of?
Well, I think that's tough because you're in the middle of the season, and you only get one off day a week anyways, as it is, and so which really it doesn't really end up being an off day. So yeah, I mean you gotta be able to process the information, but like I said, there's a game to play on Saturday, and that doesn't really slow down for anything.
Were you able to speak with him at all, and after it happened?
Yeah, I mean we've talked, but that obviously stayed between us.
When you reflect back, is there anything that stands out as to what went wrong?
It's tough to say. That's a hard one to comment on. I don't really have a great answer for that one.
From a player perspective, when this happens, how do you guys kind of find a way to work together? And there's a game, but also how might you back up?
Well, I just think that we have so much, to play for. I mean, you got 2 trophy games left on your schedule. Very, very important to our players and our coaches and our fan base and our state. 2 great opportunities, games that are going to require, full 60 minutes to win. It means a lot to us to do this thing the right way for our seniors, and to finish well. We don't take that lightly, not the players nor the coaches, and so that is where our hearts and minds are right now.
When a move like this happens, do you guys reflect with what you guys could have done better or something like that, or is that kind of because you're in the middle of the game, you're not really?
I think no matter what, you're always trying to grow and get better, right? So that's kind of the case no matter what.
What's this week been like in terms of practice? Coach Phil talked about the quarterbacks and the receivers kind of working in the room together with Coach Guyton. Now, how's that been? What kind of stands out about what kind of transition is that compared to what you typically have been doing?
Yeah, it's been a good mesh. Coach Guyton played the position, understands, kind of that perspective and how to manage that position. So I've really, I've enjoyed working with him. But we've worked closely with the receivers all year. So I think that's been good. And we've had a good day of practice today, and clean up things tomorrow and put another good one together, and we'll go in there on Saturday ready to play.
And kind of tagging on the question, you were a guy that was, you mentioned, in Coach Longo's office quite a bit one-on-one. Like, who would you turn to now if you wanted to go get some extra work with the coach or going over stuff?
Well, we have a really we have a really good staff here. All of these coaches are really good at their job. You don't have to look far for somebody that knows the game well and can coach you and teach you things. And we mentioned Coach Guyton, but whether it's Blas or Spalding or Letton or anybody. Even I think our GAs do a great job. Our QCs do a great job. I think we have a really well-rounded staff, and I've got so much confidence in those guys, and I feel good about going into this week.
Did you think a change was needed in the offense or that team?
That's tough to comment on. I think, like I said before, it's decisions like these are very hard on people's families. They're very hard on the staff and the players, and so it's just one of those things that you kind of have to handle it, and be able to get yourself together and play your best ball on Saturday.
It's going to be a significant change for you in terms of like when the play comes in, or who's signaling in the play, or who's calling the play. Does it affect you at all in how you're going to do your job?
I mean, no. I mean, for me, it's a play-to-play basis. It's, I've talked about it before. It's playing each play within its own life. Not letting the past or how things have played out affect that given play. And so that'll be my primary focus, and that won't change.
Concerns about just team morale in general when you in so many big games that haven't gone their way, and now you've got to deal with this. And the morale can wane a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of talked about this before, but I just think that we have great leadership on this team, offensively and defensively. We've got a really solid group of older guys that have been here for a long time, that really, do a good job of boosting that morale and keeping that where it needs to be. And like I talked about before, we've got plenty to play for. Like, no matter what our record is and what we've been through, you've got 2 trophy games on the line. You've got a whole lot of seniors that have, bled and sweat and given this program everything that they've got for 4, 5, 6 years. And if that doesn't mean something to you and that doesn't make you want to give this thing everything that you've got, then that's tough. So I just think that our morale is in a good place, and we're fully focused and doing everything that we can to come out on top on Saturday.
Do you expect maybe having any, or do you want to put any added responsibilities on yourself kind of this week to try and either lead the way both on and off the field?
Well, I mean, as the quarterback, it's there's a lot on your plate, as it is. So, I mean, I don't know what specifically I would put more or take off my plate. I want to play a clean and crisp game, and I want to put our guys in a position to be successful, and I want to make plays that we need to make to win the game. So that's where my head's at.
Looking at Nebraska, what's it going to take to get this one? Obviously, you guys have a streak and some history of success against them, almost like a Packers-Bears type situation, kind of keeping that like rivalry intact. Obviously, you guys have what you're going on here, but kind of what goes into that, and what's the thought process going into this one?
Yeah, no, I mean, they're a good group. They're stingy on defense. They play extremely hard, extremely physical. Obviously, I didn't start the game against them last year, but I was right there. I was able to see kind of the level of effort that they play with, the physicality that they play with. They're a very multiple defense, pretty big blitz variety, pretty big coverage variety, pretty big front variety. And so it'll be a good challenge for us to, assess everything and make sure that we're doing the things that are going to make us successful, in having like I said, a play-to-play focus, and not, getting wrapped up in how things have gone up to that point, or, hey, we called this play, in the quarter before, and, hopefully it plays out the same way. That's not the case with these guys. So, you're just going to have to be locked in every snap, and we're going to have to make some plays to win this game.
So, Braedyn, kind of going off on the preparation for Nebraska with the scout team defense, who stood out to you so far this time?
On the scout team defense?
Yeah, scout team defense.
Oh, I would say, up front, it's Nolan Vills and Jamel Howard. Those guys, they challenge us every week. They give us a great look, on the D-line. Charlie Jarvis does a phenomenal job in the back end. The guy tries to get picks every day. So, I love that. I want, you want the scout team to have a competitive, mindset and not take that role lightly. Emilio, he does a great job. So, those are probably the guys that stand out. There's more than that. But I have loved, the kind of the performance, I guess, or, just the day-to-day from our scout team. They do a great job of making us better and giving us the look that we need every week.
Very good.